Diplomacy for dinner. President Trump jokes he has gotten absolutely nothing from Chinese leader as he and First Lady in Red Melania host their counterparts at start of two-day Palm Beach summit. Trump and First Lady Melania welcomed Chinese President Xi Jinping and his wife Peng Liyuan at Mar-a-Lago. Trump joked that he hadn't gotten anywhere in the talks, but said he and Xi had already developed friendship. This marks their first ever meeting since Trump became president, and the summit will last until Friday. Trade and North Korea were at the top of Trump's agenda. "I think China will be stepping up," he said. His aides have been tempering expectations, saying it is only a first step toward a dialogue with Beijing. On Thursday evening, the U.S. launched airstrikes in Syria, with Trump issuing a statement from the resort. He cited the sarin gas attack earlier this week and said it was in the US's vital national security interest to prevent and deter the spread and use of deadly chemical weapons. President Donald Trump announced he had already developed a friendship with Chinese President Xi Jinping before a dinner at his Mar-a-Lago resort, where the two leaders met for the first time earlier Thursday. Trump joked, "We've had a long discussion already, and so far I have gotten nothing, absolutely nothing, but we have developed a friendship, I can see that. I think long-term we are going to have a very, very great relationship and I look very much forward to it," he added. Trump and First Lady Melania Trump officially welcomed Xi and his wife, Peng Liyuan, at the doors of the Palm Beach, Florida, resort before a dinner where Ivanka Trump, Jared Kushner and Steve Bannon were also in attendance. During the meeting, the U.S. military fired more than 50 Tomahawk missiles at the Al-Sharat military airfield in Syria. The airstrikes came just hours after President Trump denounced this week's horrific chemical weapons attack as an egregious crime, saying it shouldn't have happened. And it shouldn't be allowed to happen. Outside the doors of Mar-a-Lago, Trump appeared lighthearted as he greeted Xi, gesturing and pointing to journalists as they tussled to get a shot of the two leaders together for the first time. Trump, who shared another handshake with Xi at the dinner table, suggested the groundwork for a great relationship had been laid. An entourage of family members, government officials and translators sat down for Dover Sold and New York steak strip in a lavish dinner before the two leaders broached matters of foreign policy, security and trade. Jared Kushner, who flew to Iraq as the guest of Marine General Joseph Dunford, chairman of the U.S. military's Joint Chiefs of Staff earlier this week, returned to the U.S. to join wife Ivanka at the table. Chief strategist Steve Bannon was also in attendance just one day after news broke that he had been removed from the National Security Council in a move that suggested his waning influence on the president. While the president was entertaining Xi, the U.S. launched airstrikes against Syria. Xi and Trump arrived separately on Thursday, with Secretary of State Rex Tillerson greeting the Chinese president on the tarmac in Florida, where a red carpet was stretched out for his arrival. Trump touched down just before 3 p.m. Speaking to reporters who traveled with him on Air Force One from Washington, Trump was optimistic about the coming conversations. "I think China will be stepping up," he said of the pressure he expects the country to put on North Korea. The White House is reviewing options to pressure Pyongyang economically and militarily, including secondary sanctions against Chinese banks and firms that do the most business with Pyongyang. A long-standing option of preemptive strikes remains on the table, but despite the tougher recent U.S. talk, the internal review de-emphasizes direct military action, the U.S. official said, speaking on condition of anonymity.